It's Money Monday with Peter Fraser, who's back with us on City News. Peter is our certified financial planner. He is with Credential Q-Trade Securities and the Alterna Wealth Management Group here in Ottawa. Welcome back. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob.
And our topic today, fees. Fees. What do we need to know when we look at our fees?
Well, I thought that this fee discussion is a really important piece of the puzzle, Rob, when it comes to financial plans, the portfolios that fuel them, and those fees and value questions. So the backstory here, of course, is that January through March is the time of the year when most annual portfolio performance reports are sent out to shareholders or unit holders, as the case may be. It's also the time when fee disclosure documents and, in some cases, receipts are provided with those year-end statements. And it probably won't come as a surprise that most of us will likely be reminded of negative returns in 2022 when we look at that information. And the nature and the amount of fees paid in dollars and cents in a down year might come as a bit of a bracing reminder. So I wanted to suggest that both of these pieces of information are vital components of a good financial plan, Rob.
Okay.
I think they can help to provide clients and advisors both with the means and the opportunity to review the services and the value that are provided for by those fees. And just off the top, I think it's worth remembering how important it is at the beginning of working with an advisor to be clear on how the process is paid for and what, as a client, you should expect in return. Just as an example, in my case, I use what's called a fee-based approach. I indicate using a sample portfolio of, say, $100,000 that a dealer fee of 1.5%, that's about $1,500 a year, would apply. And then we talk about how that applies to their specific case. And from time to time, there can also be additional asset-specific fees. And if that's the case, I make that clear. So fees are charged monthly, statements and receipts issued annually, and sometimes fee receipts can even be used for tax deductibility. And that's all a good, just a good process to review. And when we look at years like last year, it's really important to remember that the financial planning and the portfolio management services will still be paid for in some years when portfolio returns are negative.
Okay. Here's what I want to ask you.
Sure.
What should I get for the fees that I pay?
Well, that's a really good question, and I got three or four questions we can ask ourselves. I just wanted to say that, surveying Canadians still indicates a high degree of sort of not misunderstanding, but just lack of clarity around the fees that people pay. So, I think these types of questions that you're asking about are really important to consider, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Value is subjective. There's no one size fits all. But here's two or three that I think are worth asking ourselves, especially in years like this, okay? Because it's tempting to lament paying fees and experiencing losses. But number one, am I receiving for the fees that I pay holistic advice? And that's guidance that's written, comprehensive. Is it tailored to the stages of your life? We know that clients don't just want to buy financial commodities or engage in transactions alone. So things like guidance and direction and explanation, and I would even say comfort in times like this can help avoid making big mistakes.
Yeah.
The whole one-stop shopping phenomena, I think, is growing. More than just investments, people are thinking about their insurance, their estate work, their tax planning, their legal referrals. So that's a big one in answer to your question.
Kind of the helping kind of like navigate the complex of it all, right, Peter?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you're going to pay a fee here. So, I mean,
Sure.
An informed investor is a good investor, and I think asking for, what are the values for those fees? Financial planning, of course. Obviously, I'm an advocate of that. But is there a process in place that is demonstrable? Is it helping me get towards these goals that I want help in collaboration in achieving? Number three, I think those goals, are they being measured? This is a really important time because you want measurement of your progress as much as you want rate of return information on your investments. And so I think the measurement of where you're going is just as important, and especially in down year. Let's not kid ourselves. And the last little bit, of course, is communication. How often, how well am I being communicated with? Are they staying in touch with me, especially in rough waters? And is that plan still on track despite the difficult year in the markets? And, and ask ourselves, when it comes to fees, do I understand them? Do I need a refresher? Obviously, transparency and good disclosure breed confidence and trust, and I think it makes the whole process that much more enriching and that much more engaging, Rob.
Okay. Oh, Peter, you're worth every penny. That's why we love having you here on Monday. If it wasn't for you, I would have put it all into Credit Suisse. So Peter. No, I'm just kidding. No.
That's quite a collection.
It is quite something. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Always great. Money Mondays at Alterna.ca. If you have any questions for Peter, he'll get back to you at that email address, moneymondays@Alterna.ca. And we'll speak next week. Peter.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Yep. From Alterna Wealth Management Group here in Ottawa and Credential Q-Trade Securities. Peter Fraser.